feel like that's what we're doing right now. Fighting the horde.
And there's a good fight going on here in the Alabama legislature.
Yeah.
And this is over the restructuring of the Alabama Board of Veterans Affairs. And I know you've got a lot of takes on it later in the program. Mm-hmm. I believe we will have Brian Battaglia on.
Right.
I really look forward to talking to that gentleman. But here we have Becky Garrettson with Eagle Forum of Alabama. Hey, Becky, how you doing?
Hey, I'm great. Thanks so much for having me on. It's good to be with you again.
Great to have you on the program. And y'all have come out with a pretty strong position when it comes to these restructuring efforts of the Veterans Board. So I kind of give you the floor here. What is y'all's take on this reform?
Well, I will tell you, this is near and dear to my heart as an Air Force wife. I believe that there is great representation on the state board right now with 9 service organizations being represented. And what this bill is going to do is rip off 6 of those and make 11 of the seats political appointments. And this is not a good direction. But not only that, it's removing all of the power that the board has. Currently, they have the power to pick the commissioner, but also all of the issues that are addressed in Alabama come from this board. And so if we're going to strip all these service organizations out of there and make political appointments, one of the things the bill does is it strips all of their authority away. And so now the commissioner alone, who it will be a political appointment, can make all of the decisions that are now having to have permission by the board. So removing accountability, and it's a mess. And I hope it dies. I hope the bill dies.
And so where is it right now in terms of where is this bill in the legislature at this moment?
Well, there's 2 different bills. Basically, they're the same bills. But in the Senate, they've already debated it on the floor, and they've added about 9 amendments to it, which do not help anything. It still removes all of their power, and it removes those 6 of those 9 organizations off of the board. But it's on hold. They kind of stopped it in the Senate, and then down in the House, they had a public hearing on it last week in the Military Committee, and they have not voted it out of committee yet. So it's moving in both houses, but at the very moment, it's a little bit stalled, which is a good thing. Yes. Military members had no idea what was going on. This was brought out the very first week as soon as the session opened, and it was not very transparent about what all the board did and what all this bill did. And so now people are getting wind of what's going on, and they're really pushing back.
Well, and I have up here on the stream, if folks want to watch a Joey Clark Live on YouTube, at the Joey Clark at X, or on Facebook, the flyer y'all put out, it shows under current law, you have 9 service orgs that make direct appointments to the board. And under the new law, there would only be 3 organizations who have a direct nomination. The remaining 11 seats, as you just laid out, will all be political appointments. Do they have an issue with certain of these organizations that they want to cut them out?
I don't know the reason behind it. I just know they want the political appointments. And so, unfortunately, the 3 largest get to stay. The 3 largest organizations still get a seat at the table, but the other 6 are basically just put away, shoved off.
So one of the things, Becky, this is Troy. How you doing?
Hey, Troy.
Hey there. A couple of things. One of the ways, Joey, that, and again, we have state-sponsored media, as you know, in Alabama, the Daily News, and they put out this terrible article about how this arrangement in the future will benefit veterans because it raises the level of the commissioner to a cabinet-level position. What they gloss over is that you don't even need to be a veteran, and I'm guessing if it's political appointees, you can bet your bottom dollar that they don't care whether they're veterans or not. This is about a system, pattern, and means that they use. And I'll be honest with you, very disappointed. I'm a lifetime member of the VFW, and Brian Battaglia, a great American Sergeant Major, is going to speak about it. VFW and one particular person in particular, Scott Gelding, is a scoundrel and a brigand and a highwayman, and he has taken them on a primrose path. And Becky, what's very disturbing is that these veteran service organizations met behind closed doors We don't know what was discussed. They have the duty and the responsibility to represent the voice of their constituents and their organization, and nobody knows what was said. And I've heard some pretty damning reports back that they made a lot of concessions just to keep moving forward.
Wow.
Well, I'm getting some good reports from some folks in the Senate that they're not happy, and I don't know at this point that there's enough votes to kill it, but I know that there's quite a bit of opposition from at least our Republican senators about this bill. If people go to alabamaeagle.org on our homepage, just scroll down, you'll see where our blog posts are, and we have a post up there, which is it's a PowerPoint, but we turned it into a PDF, and it really gives you a great visual of what's happening with the bill. But we have a suggested compromise, and I know, Troy, you probably would love to see the bill die, and so would I. But this governor that we have is very tenacious, and she doesn't go away without something. So our compromise from Eagle Forum is that we bring a substitute bill that does allow her the authority to appoint, but it must come from recommendations from 3 nominees from the board. I mean, they're nominated from the board. You know what I mean? The board picks these nominations. Yeah. So it's still going to be someone the veteran community approves of, but she would have the authority. But it would not change the board's ability to oversee the commissioners and their ability to make decisions on veterans affairs. Who do you want as a veteran making decisions about future care and future programs? You don't want a bureaucrat making those decisions who doesn't understand what you're going through. You want it to be someone from the veteran community.
So,
So this compromise would not change any of that.
Okay. I'll carefully look at that. Thank you for, what, you're right. There does need to be a counter. What is the old rule in the military? Don't complain about the plan unless you've got an alternative suggestion or solution. Right. And I agree. I think the wild card here, though, Joey and Becky, is this. They probably got the votes they need in Senate to pass. The question is this. And Becky, you may have been getting this feedback. We have our sources saying that some of the legislators are like, tell the vets to stop blowing my phones up. I mean, I can't get anything done, right? And the thing is, one thing's certain. Whether we win or lose, we can lose the battle, Becky, but win the war down the road. Kent Davis is really, I think, at the very tip point of the spear here. And what I believe is this rally we have coming up on the 25th that you and I have talked about, we are going to show that Veteran Nation has been activated, Joey, and that we're not going away. We are here, and you will not just brush us aside.
Yeah, well, I'm really glad that these service organizations and what you're doing is just really calling attention to what the seriousness of Alabama veterans losing their voice and losing their power over their own communities. Ooh. And, people need to know about that, especially in the Montgomery area. We've got so many active duty and retired military here that, Joey, thank you for having us on. And Troy, thanks for being on every week talking about these issues.
Yeah, well, I'm very, very excited that you're part of our coalition, and I know that you are a great American, and you've got skin in the game, and that's why it matters. So thank you.
Amen. Well, Joey, I look forward to talking to you more in the future about other exciting bills. We're fighting pharmacy issues and ivermectin. There's a bill about ivermectin coming through this week that's going to be exciting. So, cool. There's never a dull moment during this when they're in session.
Well, always appreciate hearing your voice here on these airwaves and making your case. And tell Eric I said hi.
I certainly will. He says hi, too.
Thanks, Becky.
Bye-bye.
Again, folks, that's Becky.